The state calls Specialist Nichelle Nelson.
All right, ma'am, you can come all the way up to the witness stand. When you get up to the chair, please remain standing and raise your right hand to be sworn in by our clerk.
Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give in this matter before the court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
I do.
You may have a seat. That black bar with the red dot in front of you is our microphone. Get yourself situated nice and close to that. And start by stating your name, spelling your first name and last name for the record.
Nichelle, Nichelle, Nelson, Nelson.
Ms. Nelson, how are you employed?
As a specialist for the City of Waukesha Police Department.
As a specialist, are you also a sworn law enforcement officer?
Yes, I am.
How long have you been a sworn law enforcement officer in the state of Wisconsin?
Currently in my 29th year.
What is the difference between an officer or detective or a specialist, which you are?
It's a promotional process from an officer to a specialist.
And do you have a specific role as a specialist in the City of Waukesha Police Department?
Currently, I'm assigned to the forensic unit.
And what is the forensic unit responsible for?
Currently assigned to process crime scenes, in charge of our property room, fingerprints, and making sure things get sent to the criminal bureau for identification purposes.
To be a crime scene technician, do you have to go through any specialized training outside of that standard police academy that we're all used to hearing about?
Yes, additional training including forensic or basic evidence technology schools, as well as some additional courses that we choose to, such as maybe a death investigation course or additional photography courses.
Have you been to a death investigation course?
Yes.
More than one?
I just believe I took one course.
Okay. And as a crime scene technician, do you have to do any kind of continuing education?
We do throughout our career. Sometimes we attend the State Crime Lab, puts on a once a year training, and sometimes we attend that.
The death investigation training that you just spoke about, is it specifically focused on homicide investigations or something more?
It's a variety of death investigations, so not just homicide.
Okay. Now, do you have another specialty within the City of Waukesha Police Department?
I also have a canine. He's an electronic search detection canine.
And what's his name?
His name is Canine Riker.
When it comes to crime scene investigations, is it fair to say that each person or each law enforcement officer that responds to the scene has a specific duty or role assigned to them?
Yes, but I would also say that we also work in collaboration with each other.
Okay. What would be the purpose of having individual roles for each person?
We're able to divide up tasks and get things done more efficiently.
When you arrive at a scene, and let's specifically focus on a death investigation, what is one of the first things that law enforcement will do in terms of protecting the integrity of that scene?
First thing we would do is we would like to make sure the scene is secure. Make sure that nobody outside of law enforcement comes into that scene.
Is that generally where we see that yellow crime scene tape around the area of the investigation?
Correct. And then to take it one step further, we also have red tape that sometimes breaks it down even to a smaller area.
Is there an officer who is assigned to keep a log of everyone that goes in and out of a crime scene?
Yes.
Are there times where, as a crime scene technician responding to a death investigation, you may not know if the death is suspicious or not
Yes.
at that time.
Yes.
When you are responding to the scene as a crime scene technician, and let's say your role is to take photos of the scene, is there a methodical way in which you do that, or do you just randomly walk around and take pictures?
I generally start large, and work small,
And why do we do that?
so that you can generally gather what you're focusing on, so that you can see the overall photos of what you're taking that picture of, and then generally then you can focus in on exactly what you're looking at.
Okay. And what is the importance of taking photographs at a crime scene?
Once we leave, we can never get that crime scene back. So we have to see the crime scene as it was when we get there.
If you are searching, let's say, a vehicle as part of your training and experience as a crime scene technician, do you just start opening doors and taking things out, or is there a different way in which you do that?
No, we would also photograph that vehicle prior to doing any search of that vehicle.
As a crime scene technician, are you ever responsible for, once photos are taken of an item on scene, placing that item into police property or inventory?
Yes.
And is there a particular way you are trained in taking items from a crime scene and placing it on property inventory?
Depending on what type of item it may be, it would go into paper or plastic. Those items would stay in my care or possession until I would place those items onto our property management system, which is Phoenix Property.
And when I say placing an item onto police property, is it just a big property room, or can you describe for me what that is?
So our logging system is that I would actually take it back to the police department. It may require additional photographs of that item close up. It then would be packaged. We then create a report, and from that report, a label gets generated and placed onto that individual item.
Does the property room at your police department at the city of Waukesha, does that allow everybody inside, or are there only particular people that have access to that room at any given time?
It has restricted access. Myself, my two partners that I work with, our clerk and our two computer forensic also have access to it, as well as our boss.
When we're talking about items located at a crime scene, do you know right away if that item has evidentiary value?
Not necessarily.
Are there times where you seize items that you might want swabs taken from?
Yes.
And when I say swabs, what would be the purpose of swabbing an item?
For DNA.
And are there ever times where you take items where you might want to process that item for fingerprint analysis?
Yes.
When you are taking these items and when you're processing a scene, are you wearing gloves?
Yes.
Is there any other protective gear of that nature that you wear on scenes, or does that depend on the scene?
It depends on the scene.
When you are photographing a scene, are there department-issued cameras that you use?
Yes, we each have our own department-issued camera.
And is there a particular way that you label each photo that you take from a scene?
Yes.
How do you do that?
Mine have my initials of NMN, and then they're labeled sequentially.
Every time you finish at a scene and you go back to the police department with any property that you may have packaged, do you empty that SD card on the camera, or is it just, there could be multiple scenes on a camera at once?
That would be uploaded. I save it on my computer. I upload it into evidence.com, our retention system for digital evidence. Once I know that they have all been uploaded, I then format that SD card.
What do you mean by format that SD
It would
card?
erase all the images from that particular scene, and then it would start back when I go take photos the next time at 001.
Okay, so you're not going to run into a situation where you have photos from two different scenes mixed into one.
No.
I'd like to direct your attention, please, to October 30th of 2024. On that date, were you already on duty?
I was.
And were you called to a scene at 1512 East North Street?
I was.
What was the reason for that call?
We got a call that there was possibly a body
A body?
in a tarp. under-
Okay. Sorry, go ahead and
That's okay.
finish.
It's under some brush.
Now, when you arrive on scene, do you immediately go to that area?
We didn't initially approach it. We saw it from a distance.
And why did you stay back from a distance versus immediately go to that area?
We didn't know if there was possibly evidence around where the possible body was.
So that was intentional.
Correct.
Once you arrive on scene, what is the first thing that you do?
I spoke to one of the detectives that was there, Detective Condon, advised him that I was going to start taking photographs of the scene.
And at this point, did you know what kind of death investigation this was?
I did not.
We've talked about the purpose of taking photos and preserving the scene the way in which it presents itself to law enforcement at that time. Where did you start taking photos on this property?
I don't recall if I went to the top of the hill to start or if I started down in the parking lot.
Okay, and can you, when you start taking these photos then, do you kind of follow a path through the property so you can almost follow it through your photos?
Yes.
And you start with the overview of the property, is that correct?
Yes.
And then do you make your way back to this pile where the body was reported to have been found?
Correct.
Madam Clerk, can you please turn on the screen in front of the witness? Okay. Specialist Nelson, I am showing you a 52-page PDF packet that contains exhibits 3 through 54. Had you reviewed the photos you took of the scene at 1512 East North prior to your testimony today?
I did.
And were they a fair and accurate depiction of the photos that you took on October 30th of 2024?
They are.
I would move exhibits, well, number 3 has already been admitted, so I would move exhibits 4 through 54 into evidence, and 19 has also already been admitted.
Attorney Thompson, could you just slowly page through those exhibits, please?
Yes, starting with exhibit 3.
Go ahead. You can do it. I shouldn't have said slowly. You can moderately scroll through the pictures, please.
Now I went too fast and it's thinking.
That's fine. You can let it catch up. I think 25 was the last one that was really buffering. All right, let's hold up here. This is through Exhibit 31. Attorney Thompson, are you intending to go through each of these sequentially?
I am, yes.
Okay, so Mr. Lychwick, so far, what was the number that it started with, Attorney Thompson?
Exhibit 3 through 54.
Okay, so Mr. Lychwick, so far 3 through 31, any objection to those photographs being introduced into evidence?
No, not at this time, Your Honor.
Then those will be admitted. 19 has already been admitted. And Mr. Lychwick, any objection to 3 through 31 being used to publish with the jury?
No.
All right, they may be published. Attorney Thompson, as we go through and show these exhibits, perhaps the others will buffer while we're waiting.
Oh, I hope so. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, Madam Clerk, can you please turn on the screen for everyone, please? Now, Specialist Nelson, looking at exhibit number 3, is this the possible body in a tarp that law enforcement was called to investigate?
Yes.
Exhibit number 4, tell me what exhibit 4 shows.
A different view of the same photo from farther away.
Now, I'm showing you what's previously been marked as exhibit number 1 and received. So when we compare exhibit 1, which is a Google Map overview of the property, and exhibit number 4, where are you standing in exhibit 4?
Can you show me exhibit number 4 again?
Yes.
I'm not sure if down here is the pathway from the driveway that we walked up, if that's the bottom of the path. I think that is.
Okay.
So I was looking up the hill, I believe.
And as we continue going through these, I'll be asking you if you can kind of help orient the jury as to how you're walking through this property.
For the record, the witness has placed a couple of green markings on exhibit number 4. Attorney Thompson, do you want to capture that as 4A?
No, I don't think that was intentional.
Okay. We'll clear it.
Moving on then to exhibit 5, are we starting to get closer to the pile of the branches and the tarp?
Yes.
Now, exhibit 6, obviously we don't see the blue tarp anymore, so have you switched your positioning as it relates to this pile of sticks?
Yes.
At this point, are we continuing to go further away from the driveway to the top of a hill area in the back of the building?
That would be correct.
Exhibit number 7, what are we looking at here?
More towards I'd be facing towards North Street. So once again, I'm at the top of the hill looking down.
Okay, and up here where my cursor is towards the top and middle of exhibit number 7, is this the driveway of the apartment building?
Correct.
And is that maybe one of your detectives right there speaking with someone?
Yes.
Okay, now moving on to exhibit number 8, what are we seeing here?
Another view of the pile.
And why are you taking so many photos of the pile?
Just to get different angles and just in case I didn't capture something in one of my other photographs.
Moving on to exhibit number 9. What is this?
I went around the back side of the pile looking more now towards kind of like the garage of the apartment building.
Okay, and these wooden planks here, if you're following my cursor to the top left of exhibit number 9, is that kind of like a retaining wall?
Yes.
Moving on to exhibit number 10, where are we now on the property?
They had like a garden area near the top of the complex, and there was different piles of debris and branches up there, so I went up there and photographed that area as well.
Were there any other tarps or bodies under these sticks?
Did not locate any.
Okay. Exhibit number 11, what is this?
More of the debris piles near the garden area.
Exhibit number 12?
More debris in the garden area.
Exhibit 13 then, what is this?
The garden area.
Is this a pretty wide area at the top of the hill?
It is.
Where are you in this angle of exhibit number 14?
You can kind of see in the background there the apartment complex. If I draw in here, that's the apartments. So kind of looking down towards the apartment complex.
Okay, and I do not need that to be captured.
Okay, it'll be noted that the witness placed a green X near the center of Exhibit 14, but we will not capture 14A.
Thank you. Now looking at exhibit number 15, are we still at the top of the hill here?
Yes,
Have we started coming down the hill back towards the apartment building?
I believe so.
Okay. And these logs that we see, they appear to be in a square shape. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Is this, well, actually, no, strike that. Moving on to exhibit 16, what do we see here?
I think that was the beginning of the garden area.
And exhibit 17?
Just a marker from my purposes to kind of give a demonstration or a location as to where I was photographing.
This one doesn't have a number, but it should be exhibit number 18. What are we looking at here?
The back side of the apartment complex, the hill up, and if you were to look straight ahead through that, that would be Westmoreland.
Okay. And exhibit number 19 has previously been admitted. What are we seeing here?
The back side of the apartment complex, and you can see the garage door that's open.
Okay, and that garage door leads out to the driveway that leads out to north. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now exhibit 20, what are we looking at here?
The top of the hillside.
And exhibit 21, have you continued coming further down the hill?
Yes.
And right where my cursor is at the top of these concrete stairs, is that a common doorway into the apartment building?
I believe so.
And exhibit 22.
Just turned around from where I was and took a photo up to the top of the hill.
Now that you have completed a kind of overview of all the different areas of the property, did you then come back to the area in which the body was reportedly found?
Yes.
Okay. Now, exhibit number 23, what are we seeing here?
A close-up of the blue tarp.
As you are taking photos of this pile, did you also observe at any point black plastic sheeting?
Yes.
Okay. When you are taking these photos, have you touched any of these branches or anything yet?
Myself, along with some of the other officers or detectives, we were starting to slowly remove some of the sticks and stuff that were over the tarp.
And as you started slowly moving those sticks off, were you taking photos as you went?
Yes.
Did there come a time where you stopped taking sticks off of this pile?
Yes.
When?
I observed twine or rope, and I also observed what I thought to be shoes at one of the ends. And I took my gloved hand and tapped the bottom, and I felt a shoe. And at that point, I told Detective Condon that I felt that we had a body wrapped up.
Once you tapped and you felt what you thought was a shoe, what did you do next?
I advised Detective Condon that we needed to contact the medical examiner.
And was the medical examiner's office contacted?
Yes.
And subsequently, did an ME's office investigator and Dr. Scheel arrive on scene?
Yes.
While you were waiting for the medical examiner's office, did you continue moving the branches or unwrapping the tarp?
No.
Okay. Once the ME's office arrived on scene, what process started or continued?
We can continue to remove branches from the tarp. We worked in conjunction with them with photographs and removing items. They maintained custody of any items that they thought was relevant.
When you're looking at a scene such as this, you talked about earlier how you don't always know what items are relevant in an investigation. Is that fair to say?
It's fair to say.
And actually, no, I'll continue on. So moving on to exhibit number 24. What are we seeing here?
You can see part of a black bag as well as some rope.
Is this the area you were when you tapped what you thought was a shoe?
I couldn't be for certain with this photo.
Okay, that's fair. Moving on to exhibit number 25. Are we standing further back from the pile?
Yes.
Okay. Oops. Now, exhibit number 26. Have some of the branches and vegetation been moved back off of the tarp?
Yes.
Exhibit number 27. What kind of angle are we looking at here?
I'm probably standing a little bit closer and maybe a little bit more like over to get a more direct downward shot at the.
Okay. And if we look on the left side of exhibit number 27, where you see my cursor here, what part of the body was this part where my cursor is?
That would be where I thought I felt shoes, where I saw shoes.
Moving on to exhibit number 28. What are we looking at here?
An overview.
Are you seeing at this point any other ropes or twine that you talked about earlier?
Do you want me to mark?
I would love it if you could circle each twine that you see, please. Your Honor, I would ask that this be screen captured and marked as Exhibit 28A.
It will reflect the 3 green circles the witness has identified. Just pause a moment until my clerk verifies that the capture is complete.
Of course.
All right, you may proceed.
Thank you. Moving on then to Exhibit 29. What, if anything, of evidentiary value do you see in this photo, Specialist Nelson?
Just some rope that's up in here.
Okay. At this point, when you start removing the branches, I do not need that screen captured.
All right, it will reflect that the witness did indicate to the right of the picture on Exhibit 29. We can clear that.
As you start removing branches, once the medical examiner's office gets there, do you find what are believed to be human bones outside of this tarp or black plastic sheeting that you referenced?
I believe so.
Do you see any of those in Exhibit 29 or not yet?
I can't tell if it's hard to say with all the debris that's in there.
Okay. Moving on to Exhibit 30. There's obviously an arm in the top right-hand corner.
Yes.
Is that yours or the medical examiner's office?
Medical examiners.
And in looking at what the ME's office employee is holding, it looks like a regular paintbrush. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Why is she using a paintbrush? What's the purpose of that?
To cautiously remove debris.
When we're looking at Exhibit 30 then, can you start to see the outline of a foot?
Yes.
Is that the part of the body in which you are standing by, the feet?
Correct.
Okay. Exhibit number 31, what are we seeing here?
Some clothing.
Okay. Does it appear as if it's coming out of that black plastic sheeting?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Your Honor, this is where we initially stopped as the packet was still buffering, so I would move exhibits 32 through 54 into evidence as we continue and ask to publish to the jury.
Sure. Let's take the screen down, Madam Clerk, for the public. It'll remain on for counsel table and the witness. And Attorney Thompson, if you could scroll through the remaining exhibits then.
This is going much faster.
All right, you went to 53, is that right?
That one was 52. This is 53.
And this is as far as you're asking to go?
No, I still have 54.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. There we go.
The state has moved for admission of 32 through 54. Mr. Lychwick, do you have any objection to those pictures being received into evidence?
No.
They will be received. And any objection to publication of those exhibits with the jury, Mr. Lychwick?
No.
Then they will be able to be used with the jury.
Okay, now Specialist Nelson, in looking at Exhibit 32, has the medical examiner's office and yourself started the process of, or continued the process of removing all of the sticks and vegetation and debris from the tarp area?
Yes.
Do you still see the twine that you previously referenced in this photo?
Yes.
Why not just scoop up all of the vegetation and put it in a bag so you can get to the tarp and the plastic sheeting quicker?
Because there could be other evidence that we would miss in doing so.
How long were you on scene, not only taking photos, but then also processing this particular area, if you recall?
There was hours.
Moving on to Exhibit 33, are we now getting closer to the area we just saw in Exhibit 32?
Yes.
Now, in Exhibit 34, what are we looking at here?
You can start seeing some bones.
Can you circle for me on Exhibit 34 where you start seeing bones? I would ask this be screen captured and marked as Exhibit 34A, please.
It will.
Thank you. Now, when we were just talking about how you can't just scoop everything up because you might miss something, based on where these bones were, would they have possibly been in that big vegetation scoop that I just referenced?
Probably not.
You would have felt them, or?
We may have missed them.
Okay. Now moving on to Exhibit 35, what are you focusing on with this picture here?
The twine and the knot.
Do you recall which section of the body this particular piece of twine was from?
I do not.
Okay. Exhibit 36?
The knot.
Okay. Now, did there come a time at the medical examiner's office where the twine was removed from the tarp and the plastic sheeting?
Yes.
And was the twine cut at all?
I don't recall if they did. If they did, the medical examiner's office did that.
Okay. And to your knowledge, did anybody on scene untie these knots?
No.
Looking at Exhibit 37, what are we looking at here?
More of the twine and the knots.
And this appears to be, and correct me if I'm wrong, a different set of twine than what we just looked at in Exhibit 36. Is that fair?
Yes.
And Exhibit 38?
Close-up of those knots.
Exhibit 39, what are we looking at here?
A different section with the twine and a different set of knots.
Is this where the head of the body is located?
Yes.
And so the rope appears to be around, you know, if the skull is in this circular part here, then the twine appears to be kind of towards the neck or upper chest area. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
Exhibit 40, what are we looking at here?
Another angle of those bones.
Specialist Nelson, have you investigated crime scenes in the outdoors before in your career?
This was the first.
It was, okay. Were the tarps and the plastic sheeting sealed around the body, or were there openings?
There were some openings.
Exhibit 41, please. What are we looking at here?
Just a different angle farther down from where those bones were.
Now, in looking at Exhibit 41, if you can see my cursor, I'm kind of in the middle of Exhibit 41. Do you know what that piece of debris was?
We found cardboard.
Were there other pieces of cardboard debris near the body?
Yes.
Were those collected?
Yes.
Did we find any other pieces of cardboard debris inside the tarp or the black plastic sheeting, to your knowledge?
I don't remember if there was any inside or not.
Okay. I'm also moving a little bit to the left of the cardboard debris, and what I'm circling here, did you notice, as you were processing this scene, any tape on various parts of this tarp or black plastic sheeting?
Yes.
Can you circle for me on Exhibit 41 where you see tape? I would ask, please, that this be marked as Exhibit 41A and screen captured.
It will reflect the two green circles marked by this witness.
Was the tape removed from the black sheeting that we see in Exhibit 41 on scene?
No.
Okay. Is that to, well, never mind, strike that. Moving on to Exhibit number 42, what do we see here?
Close-up of the cardboard and just that general area.
In Exhibit 43, what are we looking at in this picture?
That was some glass. I know we had found glass that night, and that could be a close-up of the glass we found.
Okay. Is this still, I mean, do we even see someone's gloved hand in the top right corner of Exhibit 43?
Yes.
So this is still the area right next to the body?
Yes.
Exhibit number 44, what are we looking at here?
Another angle of the bones.
Do you also see the twine in this photograph?
Yes.
Exhibit number 45, what are we seeing here?
More of the bones uncovered.
Okay. Were all of the bones then taken or collected by the medical examiner's office and taken back to the office?
Yes.
Moving on to Exhibit 46.
Another close-up.
By this time, is it darker outside or is it getting dark?
It's getting dark.
Okay. So now that you've shifted to processing the scene at night, are there any types of lights or equipment that you use to help ensure you're still gathering everything you can from the scene?
Yeah, we got some lights up there for us to work.
Okay. Did it end up raining at all that night while you guys were out there?
I think it started, but I don't recall exactly.
Okay. Moving on to exhibit number 47. What are we looking at here?
Just another close-up showing some of the cardboard.
Do you see any tape at all?
Yes,
Do you also see 2 sections of twine?
yes.
Exhibit 48 then?
Twine and some more cardboard.
And at this point, has all of the brush and sticks and debris been removed from the body?
Yes,
And now we are left with the tarp and the black plastic sheeting?
yes.
Exhibit number 49, what is this?
Just another close-up of the twine.
What is exhibit 50?
I believe it was a close-up of one of the arms or the hands.
What is exhibit 51?
More close-up of some of the bones that were outside the bag.
Exhibit number 52, what are we looking at here?
A photo of what the ground looked like once everything was removed.
And so you talked about how the medical examiner's office and yourself did not open up the tarp or the black plastic sheeting. Is that correct?
Correct.
Now, why take a picture of what is underneath the tarp and that sheeting?
Just to show what was left afterwards.
And in addition to showing what was left, did this scene continue to be processed, or once you remove the body, you just walk away?
No, we continue to dig through
Why?
in case there was items that we may have missed.
In this particular scene, were there any bugs collected?
The medical examiner did take bugs.
Okay, that was the medical examiner's job then. Is there anything else that, besides taking these photos, that you collected at this very particular spot with the body?
The medical examiner pretty much took everything
Okay,
that night.
okay. Moving on to exhibit 53 then. Is this still the same area?
Yes.
And exhibit 54.
Just another photograph of that same area.
Okay, and the top layer of the ground that was right underneath the tarp, was that debris also collected by the medical examiner's office for examination?
Yes.
Okay. Now, did you attend the autopsy of these remains that we recovered in the woods at 1512 East North?
Yes.
And did that occur on November 1st of 2024?
Yes.
Why do you go to an autopsy?
To collect additional items for evidence.
Does the medical examiner's office have property inventory like police do?
They, similar, but not necessarily, I don't want to say like as detailed, but they have a sheet that they do give us of items that they have.
At the start of an autopsy, is there a piece of paper that is kind of like an inventory list of all items recovered from the remains by the medical examiner's office?
Yes.
And at the conclusion of the autopsy, is it yourself or whatever other law enforcement officer is present for the autopsy, do you sign off on that or acknowledge that you are taking the items that the medical examiner's office is not keeping?
Yes.
And in this case, do you recall taking items with you once the autopsy was complete?
I don't think I took them that day just because some of the items needed to dry. But yes, I did take custody of some of the items from the autopsy.
And then once you take custody of those items, then you go back to the police department that we talked about earlier and put everything on property inventory for subsequent processing?
Yes.
And by subsequent processing is one of those potentials to send evidence to the Wisconsin State Crime Lab for analysis?
Yes.
And are there different specialized fields within the crime lab that can assist in analyzing the various pieces of evidence?
Yes.
We talked a little bit about vegetation and debris that we found on scene. During the autopsy, were there particular items of vegetation that were of significance to you?
There was some, yes.
Okay. Now, those items, those particular landscape items, if you will, when you collected those, did the medical examiner's office suggest a agency who might be able to assist in the identification of those items of landscaping?
The medical examiner did not, but the state crime lab did.
Thank you for correcting me. So why, did you ask the crime lab for that information and they offered it, or how did that work?
We have a pretty good working relationship with the crime lab, and through conversation of this case, they actually recommended a gentleman that works in vegetation.
Okay. Was that individual an employee of the U.S. Department of Agriculture?
Yes.
Madam Clerk, can you please turn on the screen just in front of the witness, and I will be showing you what's marked as State's Exhibits 55 through 57. Okay. Now, first showing you 55.
Okay.
And 56 and 57. Did you take these photographs?
I did.
And do they show two specific pieces of vegetation that you asked the Department of Agriculture agent to assist you with in identifying?
I did.
And then was that individual able to give you an identification of those landscaping items?
Yes.
I would move exhibits 55 through 57 into evidence and ask to publish to the jury.
Mr. Lychwick, any objection to 55 through 57 coming into evidence?
No.
They are received. Any objection to publication, Mr. Lychwick?
No.
And they may be used with the jury.
I'm going a little bit out of order, but starting with exhibit number 56. Specialist Nelson, what is this item that we're looking at?
It's called a catalpa pod.
And where was this pod located as it relates to the body that you found?
There were catalpa pods located inside the bag and on the body. This one I actually retrieved when I went back out and found out what I was looking for from Alex.
Okay, thank you. So this is not the one that was specifically recovered from the remains. Do I have that correct?
Correct.
But it is the same type of pod that you saw in the remains at the medical examiner's office?
That I gave to Alex, who works for the U.S. Department.
Okay.
Ms. Nelson, do you know how to spell that?
Caltapa, I believe.
Thank you.
Now moving on to exhibit 57. What does exhibit 57 show?
Juniper?
And is this is not the exact juniper branch that was located with the remains. Is that fair to say?
No, it's another one that I went out and retrieved the same day I took the photographs.
Okay. So this individual at Department of Agriculture had identified the two pieces of vegetation you sent him as a catalpa pod and juniper. Do I have that correct?
Yes.
And then from there, you went back to the scene at 1512 East North to see if there were any juniper or catalpa pod landscaping items at that scene. Is that correct?
Correct.
And did you specifically go to the area where the remains were located?
I went on the premise, the property.
Okay. Now, in looking at exhibit number 55, tell me what I'm looking at here.
That's one of the trees that lines East North Street.
Is this tree, was it overhanging on, or was it hanging over the remains that you found?
No.
Okay, it was further down the driveway, closer to the street?
Yes.
Okay. What is this tree?
It's a catalpa tree.
Did you see these trees anywhere else on the property as it relates to the location of the remains?
No.
Okay. How close then is this tree to the remains that you found.
Can you put the map back up of
Sure.
So these would be the catalpa trees right here, and the body would have been up in here.
Okay.
Record will reflect that the witness is identified with a green line where the trees were and a green dot with where the body was found.
Thank you.
Do you want that memorialized, Attorney Thompson?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, then. I do not have any other questions for this witness. Thank you.
Mr. Lychwick, cross-examination?
The only thing I would like to request the court to do is to provide the jury with the markings from the expert of the property, the satellite view of the property where she marked in green.
Just the one that she had up there?
Yes, please.
Sure, we can do that. So, Attorney Thompson, if you can pull up Exhibit 1 again.
Yes.
And Ms. Nelson, I'll have you re-indicate on that exhibit where the catalpa trees were and where the body was found.
Okay. Catalpa, and the body was sitting here.
All right, she did place the same type of markings on there, so we will memorialize this as Exhibit 1B. Mr. Lychwick, go ahead.
Otherwise, Your Honor, I have no questions for the witness.
Okay, thank you. You may step down.